Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us back on the Impact Wrestling save. For you guys, it's just been a few days since the last episode. For myself, it's probably been about maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks since I've booked it. So there might be a small, fresh reboot in the sense of I might forget some of the storylines we've had, but the good news is AEW has been booked way into the future. So now it's Impact's time to get that same kind of treatment, which is good. It means a lot of the storylines will be great with continuity. We'll probably book this through, I'd say. I might be able to take this right through until either Bound for Glory or maybe even till December. In game, just properly back to back to back. Really getting on a booking groove and hopefully having some good long term storytelling. For the month of July, as we head towards Slammiversary, we'll remain with the same type of taping schedule. We're still not financially in a position where we can justify going to single tapings. So tonight I'll be booking 4 shows, which you'll see over the next 2 weeks. So in a pretty short space of time I'll have to get that pay-per-view card together, and because the pay-per-view is at the end of the month, it gives me the opportunity to try and get some shock spaces, some surprises, and see if we can get people in to fill those gaps. But without further ado though, we've got an episode to do, so let's crack on with the first week's taping of Impact Wrestling on Access TV. So we are at the Ortho Georgia Park at the Claude Smith Field. We're expected to get about 550 fans for these tapings, so again still not bringing a fantastic gate in. What I've opted to do is that we have the Impact World Champion Matt Cardona fresh off defending that belt, and he's just basically talking about how he's always ready. And he hears that the matchmaker for Impact Wrestling, Kurt Angle, has put him in a match tonight against the winner of the Monsters Ball match, and that is Sami Callihan. Sami comes out and says he's still a bit hurt from that matchup. He sells injuries, but he says he wants to win that World Championship. And like Cardona, he's always ready to put his body through hell to make sure he can capture the gold. So that's a 52 rated segment. Both guys not going with a script, or going well without a script, which is a shame. Callihan doesn't like to be scripted, so we opted to do that. But yeah, not ideal. But 52 is still promising for the level we're at this moment in time. We then have a couple of matches. We actually probably got 6 or 7 matches, maybe even more on the card. Quite a match heavy card, but that's good. People may be fatigued by the end of the taping, but at least we know we'll get them on television and wrestling. I started off with a decent matchup, and we had Taya Valkyrie pick up a win over Jordan Grace in 9:14 with a swinging side slam. It's 46 here, pretty good there. 47 plays of 41. I feel with Taya, I've had her quite inconsistent with booking, so we're going to give her a push, as she now will be known as, is it Frankie something on NXT? But we've still got her here in Impact Wrestling. She's a solid hand for us, and a good victory here to give her some winning momentum. Moving over, we had a match that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Chris Hero picks up the win over Rhino in 12:15 with a Hangman's Clutch. A 54. This match probably actually could have main evented, which is crazy. A 50 performance from Rhino and a 56 from Chris Hero. After the matchup, we have a few words from Chris Hero and a 50 rated segment, just basically saying he's obviously came here to teach the many youngsters of Impact Wrestling just how to wrestle. He showed today he's one of the best veterans around with that victory over Rhino, and he's going to continue to win in Impact Wrestling and possibly even win some championship gold. Moving along, I had a terrible matchup, or storytelling match of the day, as Mystique defeated Tasha Steelz in 6:38, illegally using the ropes for leverage. Despite being a babyface, I meant to do flash pin, I don't know why I've done tainted there. But 29 for the matchup there. In fact, it's Tasha Steelz mentioned by a babyface, so I know that could be right. But basically, Mystique was always going to win. That was the plan. I just want to try and get some more. I don't know how to quite put them. I know they are like enhancement talents, but the ones that we're kind of bringing in, Mystique, Maki Ito. There's another coming up later on tonight, just really giving them a bit of exposure, giving some of them wins, just to give us a bit more depth to the division, because we're obviously going to need as many contenders as we can for the World Championship, and I do want to buff up the Women's Tag Team division as well, or the Knockouts Tag division, I should say. Next up, we had a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling as Suicide defeated Brian Myers in 8:45 by pinfall. This brought a 38. Very delighted with the progress so far of Suicide under the guys, obviously under Ariel Dominguez. 31 over already, considering they started at 8 over, is a good start. Brian Myers is sitting about the 32 mark, so I felt like Brian would be the next kind of victory on the ladder for Suicide. We then had some Knockouts tag team action, non-title, as the new champs were in action. Poor matchup here saw Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly defeat Alicia Edwards and Killer Kelly in 9:05 when Deonna submitted Alicia with her Fujiwara armbar. Deonna head and shoulders above the rest in this one. Contrast from my AEW save, she's a 51 here, and it's a 41 matchup. So pretty happy with that one. As I say, I've already at Deonna, having previously been Women's Champ, or Knockouts Champion, is now the Knockouts tag, and just continues to gain momentum. Here she'll be a key player in our Knockouts division. After the matchup, Alicia and Killer Kelly are getting absolutely beaten down by Deonna and Kimberly, and this leads to the save from a team I'm going to put together. I obviously haven't watched Impact too much, so I don't know the whole backstory. I know there's been a lot between Rosemary and Sue Young, but I'm going to put them together as some sort of sinister sisters. Easy for me to say. So they make the save. They absolutely freak the life out of Deonna and Kimberly. They're onto the back as they make their intentions known. They would like to be future Knockouts Tag Team Champions. 39. Then have a little package backstage, which is Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, the North, and it's a 49 rated segment. So my idea here was basically, with Ethan Page is like, we've had a good run as the North, we've had Tag Team Championship success. I feel like fulfilling my ego and going on a singles run. And hell, Josh, I think you'd be a hell of a single star as well. I'm not saying we break up the North, but I just say we have a wee taster into singles action, see how we feel, and go from there. But I feel like I need some singles matches just to get my mind in the right place. So, a 49. We'll have all Eagle Ethan Page in action later on tonight. Thunder Rosa cuts a promo. She says she's looking forward to being Knockouts champion and continue her reign and given many opportunities just like she's been given here in Impact Wrestling, and of course with her other commitments in the NWA and AEW. So that promo was actually our best promo of the night, which was a 56, so go Thunder Rosa, good stuff. She takes on the debuting Ram Chiacho, and I'm just going to say this right now, I do not have a clue who she is or anything about her. My Joshi knowledge is practically non-existent. I'll be quite front with that. I'm pretty much major promotions only. I don't have the time to watch anything else. I actually find about most of them through here. So I kind of look at them in the AEW, in the TW database, and I'll say, cool, their attributes look good, and when I see the face pack I go, I quite like this look. So obviously it's a very bizarre look with this thing like face paint. So I brought her in anyway, in a poor matchup that Thunder Rosa defeats Ram Chiacho in 806 with La Rosa. A 43, Ram debuts her Weirdo gimmick, which get an initial rating of adequate. I'll probably learn about her a lot over the course of this save, so maybe one day I'll be on point with that, but it's just introduce another character to the roster and give Thunder Rosa some more momentum going forward. And then we get our cheap rating of the night, a 74, so we just put Kurt Angle in promos and we make sure that's fine. We just need a good main event. But basically what Kurt says is, obviously, coming up this month is the pay-per-view Slammiversary. Kurt's done many a Slammiversary, it means a lot to him. And he says basically we'll be looking to bring in a few traditions for that night. So, without officially announcing it, because I'll announce it after a couple of more shows, we're pretty much going to do the King of the Mountain, because to me, Slammiversary, TNA, King of the Mountain was just always that matchup that I associate with it. So we will bring, I don't know if they've done it recently, but we'll have that tradition brought back for Slammiversary. Ethan Page was in the singles match later on. He took on Tommy Dreamer. Decent matchup, and Ethan Page wins in 8-12 with a spinning facebuster. 45, simple effective matchup. And you can see with the grin on his face, he has been satisfied with that victory. So 45 there as we start to build up All Eagle Ethan Page. And our main event for the evening was for the Impact World Championship, and it was a superb matchup that saw Sami Callihan draw with Matt Cardona in 14:25 with a double count out, which is mad because I'm pretty sure I set this as a double DQ. Nope, I just put it as a draw. I'm sure I put that as DQ as well. But anyway, the plan was Eric Young just beats them both down. So he attacks Cardona, attacks Callihan. Matchup gets thrown out. A 56 is good there, a 62 for Callihan, a 58 for Cardona. Matt Cardona benefiting with a hot new move. And obviously two baby faces as well, why that's probably not quite reached the heights that those in-ring performances should. But Sami earned it, so we were happy to fulfill it. And we end the show with a 3-on-2 beatdown, which gets us a 57. Violent by design, the team of Eric Young, Joe Doring and Ken Shamrock annihilate the champion and the #1 contender. It's almost as if we're looking to build up to Slammiversary. So we'll carry that on for next week's episode. We finish up with a 55 with 34 regions, benefiting from a gain in popularity. Obviously the production values and our music are slightly worse than other places, and we don't have the finances to increase it at this point. So it did hamper the show a little bit, but not enough that it affects us too much. So we'll keep growing the company. So you can already see a few plans in motion for what we're looking to do at Slammiversary. 3 more shows to go, and I hope you'll join them for those episodes. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.